Hello guys, I'll be solving LeetCode's daily question, that is number of subsequences with equal GCD. So we have been given an integer array nums, and our task is to find the number of pairs of non-empty subsequences, that is sequence 1 and sequence 2. And there are two conditions, that the sequence 1 and sequence 2 should be disjoint, means index of nums is not common between them. So basically in sequence 1, if you have index 0, 1, 2, 3, and in index 2 if you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then this is not allowed because you have like 2, 3 common in them. So you cannot keep elements common, okay, indexes common. And the second condition is the GCD of elements of sequence 1 is equals to sequence 2. So I think the question is of DP, dynamic programming, and I think it's a 3D DP problem. And the three states of DP would be, the first one would be index. Index means at which particular index we are standing at. Second state of DP would be the GCD value of the first subsequence, and the third state of DP would be the GCD value of the second subsequence. So at first I'll calculate the size of the nums vector, and then I'll create a 3D DP vector. I've created a, wait a second. Okay, so we can create a 3D DP vector, and the first I would make of n plus 1 size, that is index. Since we have the size is n, so we'll make n plus 1 to avoid any kind of overflow. Then I'll make one more state, that is the GCD value of subsequence 1. Now see, the maximum value of element is 200, so that means the maximum value of GCD could be 200. Basically, if an element is like max element is 200, so max GCD could be 200. So I'll keep the value here 201, and I think I can do this as long to avoid any kind of like problem. I'll make this as long, and we have 201, and then we have last state of DP, that is thus GCD value of subsequence 2, and that will be also 201 size. And okay, so we have finally made this. I'll also do this as long, and then we can simply return this. I'll pass 0. 0 is the current index. 0 is the correct index. Then I'll pass one more 0. This is the current GCD value of the first subsequence. Then one more 0, that is the GCD value of the second subsequence. Then I'll pass nums. Then I'll pass DP. And now I'll create a variable, that is int m 1e9, that is 10 to the power 9 plus 7. Since the answer can be very large, so we have to modulo it by this value. So I've created this. Now I'll create a function of long, and I'll name it solve. The first is index, then is the GCD value of first one, then is the GCD value of second one, then we have our vector nums. By reference we'll be passing it to avoid any kind of memory issues, and then we have 3D DP vector, and this is long. And yes, the function declaration is over. The first base condition would be if we reach at the index size. So basically, if the nums vector is over, if the nums vector is over, and if GCD1 is equals to GCD2, then we can simply return 1. That means this is a valid pair. Otherwise, we can return 0. But there is a problem in this base condition. What is the problem? We are only checking if GCD1 is equals to GCD2, but we should also check if GCD1 is not equals to 0. Why am I doing this? Like, why not equals to 0? Because we have been said that the subsequences should be non-empty. If GCD1 is equals to 0, that means the subsequence is empty. So we should check if the subsequences are non-empty. So this condition will check whether the subsequences are not empty. Then I'll make a condition if DP of this vector is already pre-computed, then we can use this. If GCD of index of GCD2 is not equals to -1, then we can simply return this. Okay, then we can return this. And now we have three things which we can do. The first thing is, if you are currently standing at an index, so you can include that in subsequence 1, or you can include that in subsequence 2, or you can leave it. You cannot include it in both the subsequences. This is the three options that we have. Either include in 1, or include in 2, or do not include in any one of them. So I'll create result 1, then I'll create result 2, then I'll create result 3, and at final I'll create result, and this result will hold the value of result 1 plus result 2 plus result 3 mod m. Okay, I think I'm clear. So basically this is going to be our value, and we can simply return this as result. Okay, now what will be result 1? We are including that particular element in the subsequence 1. So what will happen? We'll simply do index plus 1, and in place of gcd1 we'll put gcd of gcd1 and nums of index, and gcd2 will remain same, nums dp. And modem is very important in each of the case, and for this we have to include in index. Now first one was including in the subsequence 1, second one is including in subsequence 2. So what we are doing is including in subsequence 2. This is also done, and dp mod m. The third one is not including, like we'll just skip this element. Okay, so we are good to go. I think this should pass. And yes, our code has passed. I'll also analyze this because I feel like I could have done it better way. Okay, the current approach is dynamic programming and GCD, and of course the same approach, and complexity is also same. We can optimize space to O of m square by using a rolling array, since transitions only depend upon the next index. Okay, so space complexity could have been more better, and that's all. Thank you.